Yes, and once again, hello to our special friend that joins us from time to time from Lagos, the only man that joins us from time to
Yeah.
time. Chikuduwadua, how are you doing? Good to see you. Okay, so
Hello.
oh, Adora.
Pleasure is mine as
Okay,
always.
all right, Adora. Okay, this is Adora from Dublin. Adora, what is your time zone, please? You are not on EST, right? You're not on Eastern Time. What are you on? Let me see. Message everybody. Let's see what she put here. Okay, GMT. Okay. So I'll start to add, yeah, so from next year, I'll start to add the different time zones to the flyers. So it just makes it easier. Well, so what did everybody think about this? I wrote this book. This book is almost I wrote this book in this is 2025. This was over 10 years ago. Yeah, this book was published 10 years ago. Yeah. Since then, I think I would
Oh,
say
wow.
my writing style has changed. But yeah, but what did everybody think about this? Lide was supposed to put me in the hot seat today. I don't know where she is. So I shouldn't be the one asking.
I thought it was hilarious.
Okay. So I'm
I
not
thought it was
Mhm.
hilarious. It was so
okay,
funny.
so I'm not gonna be asking questions today because it's my book, right? It wouldn't be fair for me to be asking questions. So I think
Yeah.
today I'm putting myself in the hot seat for everybody to ask me any question they have about the book club, everything. So please shoot.
Okay. I thought the book was very funny. It was hilarious. I definitely very enjoyed that it was very authentically Nigerian.
Uh-huh.
All the pigeon that was in there. Um, did you mean for it to be a comedy? Like, was that your intent? Or
Well, did I mean for it to be a comedy? Well, I think the
like
goal,
I found it just so hilarious.
well, I think the goal is this. I think we take life too seriously, and I feel that we
Mm,
underestimate the power of humor and laughter. So it was my way of telling painful and realistic stories through a humorous lens. Yeah, because
mm,
a lot of the things that happened there actually happened where I grew up. So I lived in many places, but I think the longest time, especially in my school
mm.
years, where I stayed the longest was in Benin City. So, and I've
Oh,
mentioned
wow.
before that, yes, that my dad was in the police force. So our family house he built opposite the army barracks. So it's just a road separating my family house from the army barracks. So a lot of the things I wrote about there were the things I saw growing up on that street, living on that street. You know how secondary school, you go off to university, come home on
Yeah.
holidays. Yes. Because some people felt, these kind of things don't happen to people. I'm like, nah, not true. Not true. Yeah. So I was trying to use the power of humor to tell true stories. Yeah. Because books these days, I just find that when stories get too dark, sometimes it's depressing. So you can actually tell a realistic story
Mhm.
through a humorous lens. Yeah. So that was it for
Yeah.
me.
That the humor definitely came across.
Mhm.
And I wasn't sure what city it was, what state or city it was set in Nigeria, but now that you say Benin,
Oh yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I think it's incredible that you got to witness that this is actually like based on some of the things that you witnessed. So yeah. Um, I mean, I guess Iya Baby is the central character.
Yes.
Um, and I don't know. Once again, I have to come back to the plight of women. It
Hmm.
just seems to come across in almost every book that we read, kind of being at the mercy of just the patriarchal system,
Hmm.
getting married off young, growing up in poverty, so having to leave school, being at the mercy of your husband who could throw you out
Oh
at
yeah.
any time, or even if you are married, the men having their mistresses, and that's just what it is.
Hmm.
Um, but I really liked Iya Baby's character. She came across as very resilient, Started off obviously kind of young and naive,
Hmm.
but I thought she was a force of a character as as she had come into her own, living authentically, running her business. Um, it was I mean, some of the misfortunes that befell her were unfortunate, but it seemed like she was still able to have her happily ever after. So it all tied up really well for me. And I like that it was a
Mhm.
quick read. I was turning the pages and really just laughing through. Sweet Banana is Sweet Banana was another character that just cracked me up. But
Same here.
yeah, I'll let somebody else I'll
Well,
let somebody else chime in.
I would say a few things here. You said you weren't sure of the city. The city was called in the book. The city was called Nimbe. That's Benin, spelled
Yeah,
backward.
yeah, sorry, Nimbe,
Name
but
that here.
Yes,
oh yeah,
Nimbe.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah,
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 so
yeah. And
that
I know
was
Nimbe is
yeah.
is
So
an
that
Edo
was
name.
yes.
Yeah.
Nimbe is not a name. It doesn't like it's not a word. I just spelled Benin backward. That's why I said now my writing has changed.
Oh,
Yes, because I mean when I wrote this book, I was what barely how old was I then? Yeah. So this book initially was it meant to be a book? So this was me just scribbling down things happening in my
yeah.
area. And I had sent off a few manuscripts to the publisher, saying I had these works because growing up, you know how if as a person, when you like to write, sometimes the kind of books you read influence your writing. So I had written stories about slavery and all those kind of very, very deep and very dark stories. And I read sociology. So I was writing more about, child marriages and so on. And my publisher then said, these stories are too dark. Do you have anything more upbeat, more recent? And I said, well, I have
Mm.
this manuscript where I just scribbled stuff down. I don't know if you will like it. And she said, send it to me. I sent it off to her and she fell in love with it. And I also realized that we live in a world today where people don't really have that patience to sit and read 400 pages. So people these days just want to sit,
Mm.
flip through. You want to read something in one sitting. So I just thought, okay. So Iya baby is like saying Iya baby. Iye in the
Yeah,
is the equivalent of Iya because we had Iya Labake in the book, who
yeah.
the woman who owned the Amala store. Then sweet banana. There is always a sweet banana on every street. Yeah,
Even the
because
name.
yeah, where I went back and forth with my publisher because my publisher said, but why does he have to be ugly? I said,
Mm,
yes, you can't make him
Yeah.
perfect. Oh, yes, he was one-eyed, he had terrible acne and all of that. I said, yeah, his looks wasn't what the women were interested in. Yeah. Yeah,
mm,
his looks wasn't what people were interested in. Yeah. The women had what they were interested in and it worked for them. Iya Baby as a resilient character for me represents a lot of women who are beautifully and imperfectly flawed.
mm,
Everybody has a weakness. And her weakness just happened to be younger men who could deliver
mm.
services. So yeah. So that was it for me.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that Nimba is actually a name. Oh, I
Oh,
know.
is it?
Yeah.
And
That is
it's
a
actually an
Yoruba
Edo
name.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name that. I thought it was
Nimba is a
a
name.
Yoruba state name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
Yeah.
remember in primary
So
school there was an
I
Oluwa
pronounced it
Anyone in there?
Nimbe. That's
Oh,
how
really?
I was. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
no.
I've
I
heard
was
of Nimbe
no, that was
before.
just it was just Benin. It was just Benin City spelled backwards. Oh, I didn't know.
Coincidence. Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't.
Yeah. So I thought it was Nimbe as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a
Yeah.
question.
Adora,
Um, was was Mr. Holloway was that a true character? Was that someone you knew? Was did you- was there a Missy? Was there a Nia Baby and Holloway at the end of the day? Like, I feel that was a true story somehow. That part.
that part. No, I think Holloway for me was just, you see, it's like I said, Ear Baby was beautifully flawed. And you know how everybody always, if you read the book, right, it reads almost like a fairy tale. The way it has like a fairy tale ending.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me, that was intentional. Because I just felt,
Okay.
you know what, I didn't want to leave the end hanging because I ended with people claim to have seen a very pregnant heavily pregnant ear baby walking down, the upper, that.
Mhm.
So Holloway for me was hope, because it's easy for
Okay.
people to condemn women like this. Nobody cares about what she's been through. That's why I started. I gave a backstory on her life, how she was married off early because to repay a debt that her parents owed. And when she got into that marriage, how she was maltreated and how she was thrown out for a younger wife. But you saw her reclaim her power when she started dating these men of means. And you saw how she treated all of them accordingly. According to, yes, like that other one that was very stingy. You saw what she did to her in the end. But again, with all of this, you will see that even though these women, and in quotes, seem to enjoy this kind of life, in the end, just like everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be somebody's priority. Everybody wants to be somebody's number one. So Holloway for me was just a representation of hope. I created that character to say, okay, how in the end do you redeem all of this? What kind of resolution? I mean, she couldn't have. I didn't want the story to continue with her fighting and fighting till old age. No, I wanted her to find love. I mean, come on, she's human too. Her age wasn't a problem. Yeah. So Holloway for me was just, yeah, it wasn't really
Well,
based.
it's just cause usually if anyone grew up around the whole the then Bendel state,
Yes.
there was that thing of the women who moved with the white men and eventually got married to them had
And now
probably gone around town
that's the hope
and done
now.
a lot. Yeah.
When you come for
So I was
Europe,
thinking, did you draw it from that? Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. Those women that we knew went with the white men then were
yes,
kind of like the ones that the guys didn't go near.
yeah,
And there was a perception that they were loose women, that kind of thing. So I thought, okay, was this a real true story? Because we had that, in the
yes.
whole Edo Delta at that time.
Edo Delta,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me,
Okay.
for me, it was just, I just used him as a character to represent hope. Yes, I spent a long time in Benin, and a lot of my neighbors who had gone to Europe married white men. And, as
Oh,
children,
yeah.
them coming back with white men and biracial children, the elevation, according to our people who say, the elevation was not a small something. It was not a small something.
Mm.
So yeah, so I just used him to represent hope. Yeah. Lide, good to see you.
Okay.
Yes, I used him to represent hope.
Is
Yeah.
there any plans for an audiobook? Because it would read really nice
To read really
with
nice.
the accents and
Well,
the pidgin English.
that would be, I would have to discuss that with my publisher. Yeah. And I always feel that
Yeah,
Oh,
I was gonna say,
I feel reading an
I
audiobook,
was
I
when I
feel
was
a pitch is
reading, all I could hear was your voice.
mm,
All
mm.
I could hear in my head was your voice, beginning to end. In fact, at some point, I had to take. Please not EA, baby, because your voice was all I heard, beginning to end.
Same.
So I said I was gonna tell you that.
Mm.
somebody had asked me if I wrote from personal experience. And I said to the person, the thing is this, when you read so my writing and who I am are two very different people. I write as my alter ego. Yeah. That's why, like I told someone, my niece wanted to join today, but her mom said no because she said my niece is just 15, and my sister said, well, my niece can read the book, but she doesn't want to encourage her. You understand that, because of like I explained, I told somebody the book has subtle vulgarity, but that is the only way the book could be real. Like
Yeah.
writing about Sweet Banana, thinking of Evangeline and being on top of Ear Baby and almost breaking the bed. If I didn't write the story like that, you won't get the gist because I was writing about a mistress. Someone had written to me and said that his problem with the book was that I did not put any sex scenes in the book. And I said to him, well, I'm still very old-fashioned.
Yep, I noticed that.
Yes, I didn't put any explicit,
Yeah, I like
yes,
that.
I didn't put any explicit sex scenes in the book because I wanted us to use our minds, our imaginations. So if I said
Yeah.
he put his hand under her wrapper and they went into the room and shut the door. Now that's for you to let your mind fly. If you want to picture them hanging on the window, hanging on the fan, that's your business.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get into all of that because I mean you get tired
Are
of
you
reading.
on a walk, Modupe? Are you
Oh
walking?
yes. Most times
Sorry, yeah.
walking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
Later is
hello,
walking.
hello there. Well, yeah, it's cold though.
It's
It feels
cold
like
here too.
minus 15 plus.
Louisa, it's funny about the good morning, everyone. Sorry,
Good morning.
about the sex scene. I
Yeah.
want to say there were a lot of sex scenes.
Yeah.
Like
Well, was
it
it
puzzles me
explicit?
when there is this. No. I loved how they were. They, like you said, you needed all of those things for us to really get the gist
Mhm.
of it.
Yeah.
It always bothered me when people had to go into actual sex scenes. Like
Hmm.
the last time when we read Kennedy Ryan,
Oh, wow.
I always skip through all of that because, well, and that's a personal choice because for
Hmm.
me, the only sex I want to read about is the one I'm having, or I want to watch the one I'm having. But I don't, so I enjoyed the book because you didn't have to tell me, like she had 4, 5, 6, 7. I try to count the men, but I ran out. Well, how many were there? 7, 8?
There was Oga Commissioner, Oga Engineer. There were
Yeah,
different men.
the
Oh.
Who?
engineer,
The
the
engineer,
sweet
The
the
banana,
engineer
barrister,
who died.
Mr.
The
Holloway.
Holloway.
Holloway. Yes.
Yeah,
There were
there's
a
a
couple
few of
of,
them.
Then
yes. There were a
yeah,
couple
so
of men.
I mean, all of those things, those encounters and
Mm.
entanglement with all the women come, they were not praying indoors. She didn't have the back room for prayers. They were getting it in, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
right.
But
but people say that sex sells. Yes, people say that
Honestly,
sex
it
sells.
does.
not to every, yeah, but this is sex as well. This
Hmm.
is a good way to the perfect way to write the sex. Like even if I read this as a 15-year-old, I may not even be able to deduce everything
Yeah.
because I'm 15.
Hmm.
Because I know that when I was in high school and we would just devour any books we could
Meals and
find
bones.
in boarding school.
Yeah.
Yes, anything like even some of the what was it, Sydney Sheldon we read, we could not we didn't I know for me, I didn't comprehend everything. And then I read them as an adult, and then I was like, whoa, she had an abortion with a cloth hanger.
Other
But
side
at
of
the time, I'm
midnight.
just like, okay,
That's
where
other.
is this
You're
going?
talking about other side of midnight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So when I read that as a 13-year-old,
Yeah.
I didn't really understand all of those things. So it was a good way for you to write about sex without actually getting into
Okay.
the details of it. Thanks for that.
Okay.
For me, though, I was curious
Yeah.
about
Yeah, we know
what
what you
she
your
did,
mouth.
what she did differently. So maybe it's because I'm a married woman, and
Hmm.
it's always like, oh yes, you get extra special experiences with these mistresses, but you didn't really go into detail as to what she did. Was it because she had
Say
bigger
that
breasts,
say that
or she
again.
let the men do?
Whoa,
You understand?
whoa,
For me, I wanted more
whoa,
detail as to okay, what made
whoa.
her extra special that
What
all
made
these
her
married
extra
men were coming to
special?
her.
Oh,
Okay,
what made her okay.
so your question
Uh-huh.
is what made her ex? Okay, so you're asking as a married woman, what made her extra
Yes,
special and why these men kept
because
her character?
genuinely, it felt like she was offering something these women were not doing, right? And I know she has a restaurant, there's
Mhm.
pepper soup and there's beer. But for
Okay.
me, was it her physical attributes that made these men keep coming? Because she kept, I felt she kept saying, they keep coming because I'm doing something different. What was so different from
From
what the
okay.
women could have done at home?
Well, the
Can I
truth is
just
that
say something, Louisa,
uh-huh,
before you
Adora.
say?
Uh-huh.
I remember when I was reading, all that part, and what I there was one particular person that came to my mind. There's someone I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has been like, she's kind of like yeah, baby in a way where she, what we call runs. Then I don't know if you remember in uni in
Yes,
Nigeria.
from
So
yes.
these are not actual prostitutes, but you
Mm-hmm.
do runs as a girl, like you just going out with
Escorts.
different men.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the way to call it. So I remember this girl I met here in Dublin, and
Oh,
that's the
Dublin.
life
Hello,
she had.
Dublin.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's the life she had while she was in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's now, she got married here and she's now, let's say, separated, divorced. And what she telling me was, she's told me a lot about the different things like with men. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, that she knows how to handle any man, any different man, she knows how to handle them. I'm like, what is she on about? And she's like, at this point, she's tired because she's tasted different kind of men. So I think, you see, these women have more experience than your standard housewife, you know?
Okay.
So yeah, baby would have all the voluptuousness, whatever, big breasts or whatever, and bomb. But they have a skill in the bedroom that the wives wouldn't have. I think that's what it is.
Well,
Because I just remember the girl. So I don't know, Louisa, you can
well,
go
There
on.
was a
I would
sexual skill, is what you're saying. Like
I,
she's
I would explain something. We have a man here we could ask. I don't know who Gio is. If Gio is Gio, are you a man or a woman? I don't know. So
Louisa, please let me know when I can speak. I can't touch my phone. I'm freezing. So please just notify me when I can
okay,
speak.
okay, okay. So I want to answer this question. I don't know if Gio is a man or a woman because we could ask a man, but for me personally, what I have seen.
A woman. It's me, Olus.
Who? Oh,
Olus. Mhm.
my bestie.
Yeah.
Not be lie. That's my
So
best.
yeah, so I'm here.
All right. She's joining us from the UK. Okay. So let me put it this way, right? I put here, I said, for Paulina, realizing that treating men of means well and making them feel like kings could care for her needs, she ensured she excelled at her skills. Tybert had taught her well, so whenever her well paying men came to visit her at her small flat, she cooked for them, massaged their backs and feet, and praised them endlessly. Boosting their egos was something she guessed their high and mighty educated wives never did. Otherwise, they wouldn't get so excited when she lied to them the way she did all the time. Poor men were a huge waste of time, cooking, energy, and emotions. So what I feel here is this. I don't know, but I think that the thing with a lot of these men is, is with these women is, the how they put it. They said the sweetness of what you steal. One is that excitement of I'm stealing this thing. Oh, it's sweet pass. Trust me, if they were married to a year baby, I don't think the excitement would be like that. And I think also when you marry somebody, like somebody said to me, once you get married, after some time there is see finish. That person is not special anymore. You've seen everything about the person. So there's no see hair. But again, as a woman too, you are juggling family, you are juggling work, you are juggling children, you are juggling all of that. So there is the thing these women give them is they don't get to live with these men every day and see that. So the few hours the men spend with them, they make it very special, massaging their ego because they tell you that a man's ego is a very dangerous thing, and that if a man does not check it, it can kill him. So these women, I mean, you are spending 2 hours with a woman telling you are a king, and then when you get to your wife tells you are a boss, and you might actually be a boss. That is what you are. But when you go to this woman tells you, you are a king, you are a this, you are a that, blah, 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 blah. So even if it's just massaging your ego for those 2 hours, she cooks you whatever you want. She will put your leg on her body, massage your feet, that pampering. So I believe is the sweetness of the forbidden, maybe. And I think these women too are willing to go where some of us are not willing to go. They are willing to try things, fulfill their fantasies. And I think also some men also feel that there are some expectations of wives, the mother of my children in the bedroom, that they don't have of these side women. Because a guy will tell you there are things he will let his side woman do to him, but he will not let his wife do to him because it's not honorable for the mother of his children to be doing those kind of things to him in the bedroom.
Please.
So I don't know. But I mean, this is me speaking from gist. But I guess maybe men
Yeah.
can tell us better. I don't know. We have a man here.
So
Uh-huh. Yes, Modupe.
Louisa, you oh okay, it was
Yes,
me. It was
Lala, go ahead. Lade, go ahead.
you're right. In a little you everything you said, you're a little bit right on
Okay.
all those points. But as somebody who was married,
Mm-hmm.
and as somebody who has even been single even longer,
Mm-hmm.
I can speak a little bit from both sides.
Okay.
So when you say the sweetness of what's new, yeah, obviously the novelty.
Mm-hmm.
We always keep things spicier, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of Authentic Mama,
Mm-hmm.
those guys were paying for it. So,
Yeah,
and then
so
I know, wait, I know. So
yeah.
they were paying for it, which, yes. And then when you talk about being what is it called? Sorry, I'm freezing. Ego.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm freezing. I'm so sorry. Maybe somebody else can
But
click over. I'm almost indoors.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, somebody take over. Modupe, take over.
Okay, so
Okay.
anyways, it's good you gave me a perspective. I think you know how you said you left some scenes for us to put to our imagination.
Yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where I was hoping more of the so-called skills will come out, right? So,
Okay.
I know her cooking was good. So,
Yes.
was there anything, I know she talked about massaging their backs and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but I think that's where I would have made
Ooh.
better connections,
And her room
So,
upstairs. Remember, her room upstairs wasn't accessible to everybody. Poor tippers were never invited back
y-
to that special room.
yes, yes,
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And then the church, another thing that bothered me was how the members of the church
Mm-hmm.
knew or their
Tell him I'm
husbands
in my
were
book
some of
club
her
next.
clients.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I just feel how is she able to, cope with going to church, surviving? I'm okay with the fact that, everybody is a sinner and everybody needs help.
Mm-hmm.
So that part I could relate with. We all need to be in church or we
Mm-hmm.
all go to church for our different reasons.
Yeah.
But for me, it was
Cognitive dissonance is what they call it. Of holding multiple opposing ideas at the same time.
really.
Oh yeah, cognitive dissonance. You look it up.
Mm, mm. And
Okay.
the preacher was all in. I like the way he dealt with her. He didn't, ostracize her, and
No.
that's I like that part. But it's just the fact that there were so many. It's a small community.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows everybody, what everybody is doing, and yet, she could still have the courage and the boldness to be herself around all these people. She's bringing so much harm
Yes.
and
But
pain
this,
and sorrow to them.
yeah, but they said part of the rules of success is the courage to be disliked, to be okay with being disliked. If everybody likes you, then
The
there's a
Mm,
problem.
I
audacity.
see.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
Mm,
everybody likes you,
okay.
yeah, for me personally,
Yes.
yes, if everybody likes you, then there's a problem. You have a
There's
problem.
a problem. Yeah.
Yes, there's a problem.
Mm,
Everybody can't like you, and
okay.
it's okay. Everybody can't. You are not everybody's
You
cup.
are not jollof rice.
You're
You are
not
not
jollof
jollof
rice.
rice.
That's why they say sometimes you have to be champagne.
I see.
You
I see.
can't act like a pair of flip-flops and expect to be treated like a pair of Louboutins. No. And we had
All
Mm,
right,
women like that. We had women like
Mudupe.
that in Benin.
Like I
What?
remember like in the
Uh-huh.
north,
Yeah.
meeting some of all these Hajias, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They would come into the federal secretariat all dolled up and all covered up, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we knew, you understand, that these Hajias had these big men,
Mm-hmm.
you understand?
Oh yeah.
And, they were sleeping around with them, but they
Mm-hmm.
were also very respected, somehow within the
Yeah.
community as women that had gone, done the Hajj and,
Mm-hmm.
they had some sort of elevated status. Some of them were not probably divorced or widowed or something.
Mm-hmm.
But we always have them. We always have them in most societies. They'll be all over the place, committing their whatever bigger sins, but representing as well. And society tends to turn a blind eye as long as you are bringing money most
Yeah.
times.
But again, in all honesty, when you look at these so-called girls we call runs girls, if I go back to university, the hostel where I lived was called Seaflow. I mean, anybody who went to Unizik in the 90s knew Seaflow. And it used to be a hotel and nightclub, then it was converted to a hostel. And we had all these big girls there. Yes, they were big girls, but you see, one thing I learned from them and I took from them is they could cook. When their men friends are coming, they used to go to somewhere called, it's an abattoir, but they call it Quata. They would go to the abattoir, they would buy meat. They would cook. Their rooms were always clean. They were always well put together. Always well put together. Could cook, clean rooms. The things that a lot of other girls would be like, why should I cook for you? For what now? Who are you? Do you understand? So I don't think that these people are all bad. Yes, because we use religion to judge them. Okay, oh, you're sleeping with multiple men. But you see, I stopped in school. I used to be one of those girls who used to judge them, but I stopped judging them because in the end, a lot of these girls married good men. Yes, a lot of these girls married good men. And the girls who were judging them, now many of them meet at singles fellowship at almost 50 and 45 and so on. So I'm not saying that, you see, it's not for me to, please, somebody should mute herself there. I don't know if that's Mudukwe. Mute, So yeah, so it's not for me to judge, but from those girls, that's for me, that was one thing I learned from them. They will cook. I guess they knew how to treat men. They were respectful, and I guess they were also more tolerant. The things we would not tolerate, they were willing to tolerate. So yeah, yes, Tosin.
Yes, I think all what you're saying
Mm-hmm.
is bang on. There's a little bit of truth in everything.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that these women understand is
Mm-hmm.
that they understand the fundamental nature of transactional sex.
Yes.
Like as Iya Baby kept on saying, this is the oldest profession in the world.
Yeah.
It's the oldest job, it's the oldest market. There's a
Mm.
market for it, and like both parties are benefiting from an exchange. Is
Yeah.
money for pleasure.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. So yeah, people can be like a little bit prudish and judging and whatnot, but this thing has always existed. And for as long as there are people willing to pay for it, there
Mm-hmm.
are gonna be people willing to offer it. Like
Yeah.
so yeah, and if you're offering a service,
Mm.
yes, of course, like if you're someone who's doing hair or makeup or whatever, you might go to cosmetology school to improve your skills. So
Yeah.
same thing. If you're selling sex, then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you probably would invest in yourself as the business to make sure that you are good at it. And
Yeah.
yeah, that part about also doing things that wives may not be necessarily willing to do or husbands are not willing to ask from
Yeah,
their wives.
because
There was a video I saw one time of this wife. It's tragic but hilarious. She was confronting her husband's mistress at a store. She ran into her. This happened in Nigeria. She
yeah.
ran into her at like ShopRite or something. And you could just see the difference in them.
Thank
First of
you.
all, the wife was very conservatively dressed. She probably was like one of those like staunch Christian people. And then the mistress was clearly like
With
a
the open back,
university
with the open back top.
woman.
Did you
Like
see did you see her skin?
who?
I saw the video. I saw the
Oh
video.
yeah, when she was confronting her that
Yes.
you
She was,
you
oh,
you
do you
had
know how I've
anal
suffered in my
sex with
husband?
my
And
husband.
Tosin, and
That she did
Tosin,
anal sex with her husband,
maybe,
and it's like,
maybe he asked for her to be dressed like that, eh? Right?
No, but hold on. No, lie there. Wait. Wait. No. The married woman went to confront this girl at a
No, no, it's
supermarket.
gone.
And the woman
Huh?
yeah,
was
and she
saying,
was
do you know how I've suffered in my husband's house?
husband's house.
And
Yeah,
when I saw that video, I was pissed. And you know why I was pissed?
like
Suffering. Nobody gives you any award for suffering. And what I noticed about a lot of these women, these side chicks, they are very selfish. Yeah, they are self-centered. Yeah, they've found a way to decenter men. They are very self. Yes, this is what I want.
yes,
You give me money for this, so blah blah blah. They are making trouble with you. You give them 5,000, they throw it in your face. And these same men will give their wives 2,000. The wives will kneel down and tell them thank you, and they have no regards for this.
yeah, it's a transaction, it's business,
Yeah,
and so if you
yeah.
know your price, if you
Uh-huh.
know your worth,
Yes,
you're
the
gonna
wife.
charge it.
After that video, Tokema Kinwa came out with a video and said, please, dear Nigerian married women, maybe you should have side chick confrontation starter pack. 30-inch human hair, 6-inch heels. Please dress
Ọmọ
well. That's what
burúkú.
Tokema Kinwa came out to say, that I beg. But again, if we look at it,
Ọmọ burúkú.
when you have finished taking care of children, keeping the house, doing XYZ, sometimes you are just tired. You are just tired. That's why I brought in the character Evangeline. Evangeline is a typical example of a good girl. You saw how Sweet Banana was able to deceive her. Because without experience, you believe everything a man says. Forgetting that men, when it comes to men and women, men are more intentional than us. Men know, they know what they want. Our hormones takes us all over the place. That's why you can see a man sleeping with 20 women. And if you ask a man, who would you marry amongst these 20 women? He will tell you, I'll marry XY, I'll marry this one. But a woman can have 3 useless men. And if you ask her, Who do you want to throw away? She'll be like, yeah, I don't know. This one is a bit nice, Sha. And this one is a little bit nice. That one is a little bit nice. Forgetting that a man speaks to you through his actions many times. Yeah. He speaks to you through his actions. He might be saying one thing, but watch his actions. That's why I brought in the character Evangeline. You saw how Evangeline got carried away just with the lies Sweet Banana was telling her. And then the romance novels. For those of us who
Was
grew
a
up
young
reading
girl. She was
Mills
a
and Boon,
teenager.
yeah, reading Mills and Boon, you saw how she got how carried away. I mean, how would a guy take you to such a rundown place, to a shithole, and tell you that, and that is his place, and then because you saw him at a wedding, you got carried away and thought you were in love, so it was okay for you to lose your virginity to such a person, and you saw how that played out. Very romantic.
In all fairness, she was a teenager. We can't judge her. Her brain was not fully developed. She's
But
17.
that character, I brought in that
Mhm.
character as a representation of a lot of good girls. That this is what happens. Is the harsh reality. This is what happens. That's why Bobrisky said, "Good girl, not a pay." Oh." That's what Bobrisky said. Yes, lady, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, as a married woman, I feel like to be able to sometimes, for lack of a better word, be out there and stay in the know, I would ask to get paid for some things at home. I would ask to get paid. You want the special days, you want the special day. I would ask to get paid. It doesn't have to be money. But since it looks like it's the transactional aspect of it that becomes very attractive to some of these men, like, okay, I don't need to talk about the children. I don't need to talk about the bills, the NEPA bills. I don't need to talk about, I'm just going there to get this and get it out. Maybe some wives could wear that hat every now and then, and saying that after looking after the children, I think it's, and Gen Zs are doing it. Gen Zs are doing it. They're outsourcing a lot of stuff. Okay, the new 25-year-old we married women, they're not in the kitchen slaving for 5 hours to make a goosey and make this. They're both working, and they're sending out, they having caterers cook and deliver food for them. So that's what I mean by ask to be paid for some things. I
Something.
know one of my friends, she's my age, and she's in a second marriage, and the guy probably like 15 years younger, and was never trained or oriented to, or picking up the vacuum or doing the dishes. And she's getting into all these arguments every day. I'm like, you're not going to train him. He's already trained. The good thing is he's in IT and he's got 2 jobs. So you're going to have a stand-up meeting and ask him to pay for things that he can do that you now have to outsource. Because what the argument was coming up every day because she had to do the dishes. She had to make sure they love. You don't have to do all of these things. This is what we need to understand. It is not on you to sustain the household and the bedroom and the children. It's on both of you, you know. So that would be if I were I don't think so, but if I were ever to be a married woman again, these are the things that will be in place. I'm not your cook, I'm not your cleaner, but we both make messes and we both have to eat anyways. So would put it on one person, especially if that person also is helping bringing in the what do white folks call it, the bacon.
Okay.
So, and that's where EA baby comes in, right?
Yeah.
People like EA baby comes in. Who wants to go home to somebody who is tired from babysitting, from cooking, from making sure that there's food in the fridge, making sure that you went to the the teachers meeting. Who
Okay.
wants to come home to that every day, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
I think something like from what you said, I think what I have learned as if I look at myself in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, one thing I realized with the way we are raised as Nigerian girls, we are raised almost to audition for men. And I use the word audition. When you are young and
And
the man is coming for you,
oh,
make sure you cook, oh, hey, he's coming to visit you, cook well, oh, make sure your house is clean, oh, make sure this is this, oh. When you are going to visit his family for the first time, behave yourself, oh, sit down, don't eat too much. When they are talking, don't laugh too much, oh. Do you understand? So as girls, as Nigerian girls, I feel that we are raised almost to audition for men. And the truth is that
and serve them
yes,
and
yes,
serve
and serve
and
them. Yes,
serve.
it's part of the auditioning because you are trying to prove to him that, oh, you are a
But
good guy.
there's nothing wrong in that, eh?
Yes,
There's
but
nothing
what?
wrong in that. If
So
only they were also raised to treat us the same way.
wait,
Then we'll have a
so
perfect
it's
world.
yeah. So
Sorry.
we are
Come
raised
again.
to audition. For me, how I see it is, we are raised to audition for men. In my 20s, I would say, oh yes, it was important. Oh, you come around, cook, make sure everywhere is clean. We were not raised to demand what we desire. You demand what you desire is almost like, oh, you are being too masculine. You are not going to find anybody. But the truth is, you can only pretend for so long. So you audition, and then you find this guy who thinks that this is who you are. And then by the time you get married, you get tired of auditioning. Then he feels he has been deceived. Now, as a woman in my 40s, meeting a man,
Exactly.
I'm very unapologetic. There are things I don't like to do, and I'm very unapologetic about it. I don't like to clean. I would pay somebody to do that cleaning for me if I don't like to do XYZ. So if you meet me and I'm already paying for that service, I feel that it's easier for you to adjust because what hurts is the most is that a lot of women are afraid, especially younger women are afraid to make this demand to say, this is what I desire and this is what I desire. And it kills me inside because that man goes to cheat on you with another woman who doesn't do these things and he's willing to pay for somebody to do it for her. Do you understand?
Babe,
Yes, exactly. I've seen too many
yeah.
cases like that.
Your stingy boyfriend is another person's ATM.
Thank you. Your stingy boyfriend or your stingy husband is another person's ATM, limitless ATM. So I think that as women, respectfully,
Yeah.
because I'm big on respect on both sides, you should be bold enough to say this is what you like. But somebody has said to me, what if you are communicating and the other person is not hearing you? That's another this thing. I don't know. But I feel that the reason why a lot of side chicks seem to have the upper hand sometimes is because one, what you are stealing is sweeter. Two, they don't live with these men. Three, when the men are with them, they're on their best behavior. So if the guy is just going to be with you for 2 hours, you will roll on the ground and say when you know that after that he will leave a brown envelope for you. But you take your wife for granted. Oh, my wife doesn't do anything. She just sits at home. You forget that cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children is a lot of work. Yeah. So that's why I brought in the character of Evangeline here as a representation of the standard good girl to say, according to Bobrisky, good girl no dey pay. I read something today. Like, I think
Understanding
understanding girlfriend. Like, I sent
What
you
a
something
reference.
today
But Brief,
on Instagram.
girl.
Yeah. Okay, I sent you something today on Instagram where a man said the way a woman presents herself is the way he would treat her. He said that is why you will find some guys who will book a ticket for a woman to come and visit them and give another woman transport fare to take God is good. He said some men will go out with their wives or girlfriends, and the girl will say 4,000 naira Hollandia is too expensive, buy Coke. But that same man will take another woman to the same place or a more expensive place and buy Hennessy without thinking twice.
Yeah.
So what is the problem? It's still the way you package yourself. Where they say understanding girlfriend, no they pay. Yinka, nice to meet you. Yinka is joining us for the first time. Hi Yinka, are you there?
Or how much the person values you.
Or how much
Do
the
you understand? How
person
much the
values
person?
you.
It's not an indication of your worth or how you package yourself, because we see all the time these people going into the seeking out the lowest person on the economic hierarchy and then they try to bring them up. We see that all the time. So yeah, sometimes it's packaging, right? But at the end of the day, it's how much they value you, how much value they see in you.
Yeah.
And that has nothing, and it's not tied to your wealth. You know, these
Yeah.
people, it's the fact that they want to put their hand and their mouth in everything.
And if you're not valued, it's okay to walk away. Yeah. I see Chukudum, you want to say something? I see you've unmuted yourself.
Anyway, and then this,
Chukudum, you want
they
to say
want to.
something?
Oh, okay. So, no. Actually, I don't know why I can be heard. Can I be heard?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can I be heard?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So it's quite difficult. It's difficult for me to really make any contribution because I see the discussion is somewhat skewed. It's all about there's a mindset already. So, but again, it's also interesting to also know some of the personalities of the reference, like Bobrisky. I mean, again, that tells a lot, in my opinion.
Okay.
But try to really exonerate
Hello.
folks in some certain situations. But it's also important to also note the fact that it's like some people say aura for aura. And
I can't hear you. You're going in and out.
And then Olugu for I don't know. Okay, you're struggling. I don't know. Can I be heard?
Yes, you're back now.
Difficult.
Yeah, you are going on and off.
Okay. Oh, really? Maybe because actually I'm actually driving, so it's difficult that's why I've not been very effective in contributing quite a lot.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. So so the point I'm trying to make from the few conversations what I've heard, yeah, there are no two ways about it. There are certainly some certain ills in the society. Yeah, somehow the society is a patriarch. But again, let's not forget the fact that sometimes what you give, that you get, the energy you give also that you get. Somebody mentioned about see finish. Yeah, it happens a lot as well in men. Most of the time, when a woman sees a man in that very state, see finish, see also their kind of comportment. So it's not always about the way the men turn out. Over time, it also happens when women, particularly when the man tends to live or lose that financial capacity to maintain a given lifestyle that the couple were enjoying before. So it does happen. It is not a one-sided thing. It's same way that it's something that happens in the men's folk. It's same. It probably takes place when it's about it's skewed on the other side as well. So for me, I will not excuse men. Certainly, I will not. There is a tendency to believe that such ill comportments are more on the side of men. But the truth is that most of the time, the men talk less when they are subjected to such treatment. So because we talk less, there is obviously high chance that our own situation is by far very much underreported. I will just leave it at that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to read out something to you that I saw this morning. And I'm relating it to EA Baby because we're talking about these side chicks and mistresses. Somebody said, a man asked the question, speak your honest truth about spending on a woman. And a guy said, I spend on a woman exactly the way she presents herself to me. If you present yourself as an understanding girlfriend, wife material, ₦1 you no go see for my hand. I will be extremely nonchalant. Once you have shown me you can manage, that's the worst mistake you can ever make. The way I spend on a woman depends on how I rate her. I can have 2 girls coming to see me from Lagos to Port Harcourt on different dates. I will book a flight for one and ask the other one to follow God is good transport. How clean your skin is, the level of your exposure, the kind of wigs, perfumes, handbags, and clothes you wear, and how generally sophisticated a woman looks determines how I will treat her in a relationship. I can be very nonchalant, but not when I meet someone who knows her worth. Pretty, educated, got her own money, decent family background, and they know bomb me well to be nonchalant. I am definitely going to act right. If I see you have been to Maldives with your previous guy, I will aim to take you to Ibiza. If I see you don't even have an international passport, nah, no, na Okabike for Port Harcourt, I go carry you go. This also counts for the level of gifts I would give you. I'm someone who that loves wigs a lot and loves gifting them, but not just to any kind of girl. I can't buy you a wig of 700k if I see you don't even own a decent one when I met you. The richer, well exposed, and sophisticated the woman is, the more I raise the bar. So they say packaging is very important. So Modipe had asked a question here, and we are comparing it. So is it that side chicks are presenting themselves better than housewives, or is still this case of see finish? You are a man.
My opinion. If you want to play a game, you play a game. Okay. If it takes me car to get you, I'll spend the car. But hey, that's it. At the end, nothing happens after. Okay, let's not mistake it. That's why somebody also mentioned the fact that you might have three ladies. Okay, but if you ask the man, oh, who are you going to marry? Of course, the man definitely knows. Definitely knows he's going to marry. I'm just being very honest.
Is that an achievement?
So,
is that an achievement?
The same way ladies play around as well. It's not just like I said that men don't. Let's be honest. Men don't invest time to investigate women. They don't do that.
Oh,
but
really?
if men sit down to actually invest time, money to investigate women, horror. I'm telling you.
Louisa,
So
let me to tell you that it doesn't matter how you package yourself. The man knows what he wants already. So is that what you're saying, Mr. Chooks?
Yes, a man knows what he wants, and if the intention is just to have your carnal knowledge, I mean, it's just like treating a prostitute. I'm sorry, I'm using that word. Maybe it's very
you're good.
terrible.
You're good.
Sorry.
You're good.
You're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, if you want to pay to have it, after that, that's it. Like
so he's going to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. But at the end of the day, all this packaging business, that guy who did the post was talking about, it's all a lie. It sounds like a broke guy to me, because like Mr. Chuk said, no, they're not spending time on doing investigation. If he's investigating or researching about you, he's already in love already. Am I correct, Mr. Chooks?
Yeah.
Thank you.
But for me, how I see it
Thank you so much.
If you are approaching a girl that you really like, shouldn't you put your best foot forward? So why would you buy ticket for one and give the other one money for transport?
It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. These people are always fishing. So they throw their thing out there. What are the chances that somebody is looking for a wife? Very slim. But in the meantime, a man's got to eat, right? So
Okay.
they're always fishing until when he sees the thing that he really wants, it doesn't matter what package it comes in. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what package it comes in.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yes.
Okay. Who else wants to go with other questions?
Louisa, my ex-husband. I don't know if my children can hear me, but my ex-husband, he saw me. We know each other when we were young. That I was petite, dark chocolate, We get married. He tried to tell me to bleach my skin.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, no, we're not doing that. This was the packaging I came in, and you knew that. But at the time, other things were priority for him that I won't go into. And that's what he focused on. So once those things became actualized, that's why Mr. Chuk said,
whatever it takes. Yeah. Does that mean that my wife's not going to be light skinned? Well, yes. So he did what he made the choices. And then years into the marriage, I start hearing about, oh, why don't you mix this with your cream? Why don't you mix that? I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I don't want to be light skinned. And I stuck to that. Guess what? As soon as we got divorced, it's not even 12 months after,
Mm.
married a light skinned lady. The whole time, he knew what he wanted, but he was hoping I could take this one and try to shape her while you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could have saved everybody this trouble by just focusing.
Focusing on that. Okay, yes, on what he was looking.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Lady. Um, who else? Modupe, I saw you had unmuted yourself.
That was me. I was gonna
Oh,
say,
listen. Mm-hmm.
sometimes too, like Lide was saying, it's like they want what they don't have, or they want what they can't have. As far as that packaging goes, I also don't believe it because in my experience, personally, and also just from observing around, you match up with a man, you're with a man, and then he cheats, and then you see the kind of person that he cheats on you with.
You see
The
what?
packaging is always usually less.
Yes.
They roll to the floor. No offense to the women, but it's almost like sometimes a man living up to your standards is just too much for him, and he wants to relax, so to speak. And these women provide an atmosphere for that, where no one is nagging them, no one is talking to them about their responsibilities. They're able to park their responsibilities and have a relaxing experience with an individual that they are paying in exchange for that. Like these escorts sometimes they're not even having sex with the men. They're just there
Just
listening,
companionship.
allowing the man to talk, allowing him to vent, providing a place for him to be vulnerable where he's unable to do with his wife for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, or you have escorts providing the girlfriend experience, just something to be pretty on your arm to go around with while your wife and children are at home. So I don't know. I feel like the motives are different, but there's overlap with them. At the end of the day, I do believe what Bob just said. Good girl, no, they pay, and my for my own it is the man. I think my own choices are to abstain from that and bargain because I feel like you lose your bargaining power as a woman once you say that I do and you collect that ring. They park you in the house, and as we've all said, the see finish begins. So for me, if you're gonna
So you okay? Your voice sounds like
yeah,
Yeah, I think just
sorry, I'm recovering from a from a cold. So thanks.
hello, hello.
Me, I was surprised that someone like Sweet Banana was as popular and as famous as he was, even though they didn't paint, so he wasn't painted as a good-looking guy. I struggled with him being the to-go-to guy for
delivering.
The
these
options,
kind of
based
women.
on the
Especially because
other
he was such a
options.
leech.
Well,
Especially
the
because he was
options.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah, I see what
delivering.
you
So,
guys
so
mean.
my
So
question
haven't
is,
you
does
seen?
that mean that a man who is able to satisfy in the bedroom
Mhm.
will pays basically it ranks higher than a guy who is able to basically provide for you financially? Are women willing to, for me, I struggled with sweet because obviously that Sweet Banana guy had nothing good to offer.
yeah.
But the fact that he was good in bed seemed
That's
to overshadow
nothing
So
good
everything
are
to
else.
you?
offer.
Yes,
Most
but the truth
is
is that are we willing to be
relative.
honest with ourselves? Are we willing
That's
to have that
relative.
conversation? There are so many women you would find in horrible
Mm,
relationships. They are
mm.
being beaten up, they are being treated like trash. But you know what? If they're going to be honest with you, ask them how good he is in bed. Yeah. if they are going to be
I know them.
Oh, yes. If they are going to be honest, this one I know personally.
That's
Yes, I've had somebody like that before. Do you
Yeah.
understand? You discuss the person, the man is horrible, beats her, everything. And I'm like, what is going on? You've gone to the police station. I don't know. I got kicked out again. So maybe I have to join my phone. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me? I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Let me use
And if you're not
hold on, let me
in
use my hotspot.
that state,
Let me use my hotspot. Okay, someone says breaking. Hotspots. Yes, personal hotspots. Okay, good. Mm-mm.
now when you see something that is obviously wrong for you or not worth your time, I feel like it should be a piece of cake to say, you know what, no, I can't give in. Like it's not worth it. Like especially because
I don't know why this thing is doing this. Zoom.
of it really lasts because
yes,
this doesn't pay the bills. This is not going to
yes.
raise your auntie money to give
Yeah, I
and
thought
he
she was
never
going to steal.
came. It
Yes.
restored my faith a little in
There's still
people.
common sense out there. I forget
Yeah.
what the guy's name is.
Hopeless.
Him with a broom. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Are you saying it's not possible to be in the middle? So I
That
feel like it
should
is not
be
possible to
everybody's
be.
goal. That should
You
be
can't
all
be
our
a good
goals.
girl
You,
and,
you
and
can.
expect and still expect to enjoy the benefits of
You
being a
should.
naughty
That's
girl.
the goal I'm telling you, Modupe, that you should aspire.
It's possible.
Yes. Yes.
Connection comes.
I guess we're all
Can anybody hear me? I don't know. It's out. It's
so
kicking me
let's
out.
ask what's
Yeah,
her
let's give
name?
her a
It's kicking
second.
Modupe
me out and bringing me back in. Can
and
anybody hear me?
Yinka.
I'm being kicked out and brought back in. Log in with my phone. Who? Can everybody hear me now? I don't know what's going on. Today.
Find a balance. But it's nice to know that these options are available because there are
Yes.
some narcissists out there that will even tell you that's a problem. How can you she
Oh
be this?
yes.
How can you be ordering? How can that you
No.
know?
Yeah, it can be an issue. There are some
Yes.
families where the wives have
Why
to
is she
cook.
ordering? Why can't she? She's very lazy. Why? I know mine had.
Yeah.
I know mine said something about, oh, how could you not work for a year? I'm like, because I want to stay home with my baby for 1 year, and I live in a country that allows me to do that. What is it to you? And I worked so that they can give me money while I'm home for the full year.
For the year.
Why does it upset you? Because I need to suffer for you to know that I'm married. You need to see me struggle. Do you see what I mean?
It shouldn't
So
be
when
like
you
that. It shouldn't.
yeah, well, so when you see people with that, and of course, you already know how that went. I'm like, you don't have to pay me nothing. I made sure, and when it came to, when are we having the second child? Guess what? I made sure that I got a job. I worked enough hours to be qualified for maternity benefit. And that's when I decided to have it. When I was ready, that's when it happened. So a lot of us equate suffering to marriage. I'm sorry. We're all constantly living in a state of bewilderment. These men are not perfect too. Don't let them make you think that they're perfect. They have their own struggles. If we had a magic wand, there's so many things we would all change about our partners, our friends, our siblings, right? But some people have become very seasoned at putting aside their own flaws and focusing on yours to distract from that, and sometimes they do it unconsciously because they were conditioned like that as well, right? Like Louisa was saying, they raise us to serve them, and that itself, it's not a problem. But raise the other one to serve the other person too. I don't know if you guys follow this guy on Instagram. It's meets. You say you're disturbing me. It's meets cute meets something. So they asked this couple, what is the secret to their long partnership? And the man said, making sure that I put that person first, always. All decisions goes back to what do you want? What would make you feel better? And he said, I'm able to do that because I know she's doing the same thing for me. You see? So yeah. Where is Louisa? I'm not hosting.
Can
everybody
hear now? We can hear you now. Princess, carry your food and go.
I don't know what's up with my internet today. It just kept kicking me out. So I've logged on my phone just in case. Let me put this here. Let's lower the volume. Yeah. Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know where the conversation went, but while I was
it's gone a lot without you.
Without me.
Somebody else started hosting. I hosted. Mo hosted. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, like what I was saying.
So I think we were talking about promise. Tell us about promise.
Promise.
No, was it promise? Yeah.
Promise.
No, I started off saying sweet banana. So I said I was surprised that sweet banana was a woman that is so well accomplished was willing to sue for someone like sweet banana as a source of pleasure. Then I said I like the fact that her niece had common sense enough to draw the line. She didn't, she was saying that she thinks Promise was going to do something bad, steal from her auntie.
Fine girl.
Yeah, fine girl. Yeah, that's another thing I love, Louisa. The names. I loved all the names. All the names. Sweet girl, fine girl, sweet banana. I loved the way you did the naming.
Okay, so let me see now. So the volume, I'm speaking to my phone. That's where the volume is because I don't know what's going on with my laptop. So you will see me on my laptop, but I'm speaking to my phone.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, so the thing with the naming, I like to write about memorable characters, right? With names you can easily remember. someone like Sweet Banana, you know, before I went off, I was telling you that I've had situations where I had friends in abusive relationships, and it just didn't make sense. I just didn't understand why they wouldn't walk away. Maybe because me, I'm not very, apart from, when they talk about valuing yourself, I'm very, very selfish with myself. I'm extremely selfish with myself. I value myself. I do not tolerate nonsense. And I say that with all authority. Someone had said to me, oh, you don't say blah, 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 because in my 20s, I tolerated a lot of nonsense and a lot of BS, and it didn't get me anywhere. So I really do not tolerate nonsense. I walk away. That's it. I'd rather go and cry in the privacy of my house and roll on the floor than sit and shed a tear over your BS. That's me. So I realized that a lot of them, you see them in really bad relationships, and you're wondering, okay, I had one who the guy was so abusive and he had beaten out a 4-month pregnancy.
Okay.
And I didn't understand. She ran to the police, and then he went to the police to bring her back. And they just said, oh, she's a woman. Women talk anyhow. Don't kill her. So it's not as if they said, don't beat her anymore. They said, do not kill her. So we got talking. There seems to be Can everybody hear me? Uh-huh. And one day as we were talking, I just asked her, how is he in bed? And then she closed her eyes and said, Kai, ide scatter. Thank you. So I've seen situations because I'm usually the go-to friend. Everywhere I have this problem, let's talk to Louisa. I have this. And I told somebody one day, please, I don't have the solution to all your problems. So I'm a good listener. I will listen to you. I will empathize with you. But I don't always have the solutions. I can't use myself as a yardstick. What I would not tolerate, you might tolerate. What you might tolerate, what they call it, what you might not tolerate, I might tolerate. So, But I've found situations where many women, you talk to them, and it's this thing of, the guy is sabi. Because I don't say, but you get to a stage in life where a lot of other things matter to you. Because you will see some people, that's why they will tell you that some people in bad marriages or bad relationships, if the guy is delivering in the other room, the lady will tolerate him. Just like how you see guys who will say, I want to marry a good girl, but she should have a shower vibes. And I'm like, what is this a shower vibes that you people are looking for? So I think as human beings, we're just insatiable. That's just it. You have what is good until you lose it. That is when you realize, hey, this thing I had was so valuable. People underestimate the power of peace. Just having peace of mind. Where there is peace, you go looking for problems. So that was Sweet Banana's appeal. Yes, he was useless. He wasn't useful to anybody in any way. But he had the people he was servicing. And EA Baby, to steal her generator and all of that. Then there was a Fine Girl. Fine Girl for me is that character where she was quiet. For me, she was a representation of, how there's power in silence. You know how they say still waters run deep. You have these quiet people you feel because they are not bragging, nothing is happening for them. So Fine Girl for me is a representation of like social media, people who like to show their lives on social media. Oh, I went to this restaurant today, blah, blah, click, click. Maybe you just walked past. And then you feel because people are not showing their life, showing off on social media, nothing is happening for them. But you saw that Fine Girl had this guy that really, really liked her. That's Okwi London. He really liked her. But you saw how smart she was. She was just careful. She was like, yeah, this guy likes me, but yeah, there's just something. Yeah. So that was Fine Girl for me. A representation of that person you see, and the fact that that person is not bragging about it, is not making noise about it. You think nothing is happening. Yeah, things are going on. Things are happening. Then there was this other lady, the one, what was that her name again? The one whose husband was always beating up in the compound. No, was it Promise?
Yeah.
The one with the kids.
Yeah, Promise.
Kuyabo.
Yeah, it was promised that they
good.
Good.
And remember how the women went to her trying to help, and the way she insulted them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is very, very typical. It happens in a society. You know by your husband, and instead of the women, people to come and say to the man, the debit, you are irresponsible, is a thing of shifting blame. We like to shift blame. A man slaps you. Don't let the devil know. As a woman too, you be the reason why you are not meeting ladies. He said, yeah, he's generous, like he gives. He said, but I said, are you aggressive? He said, I'm not aggressive. I'm not aggressive, but please don't slap me. That's what he said to me. Do not slap me. I said, what does that mean? He said, yes, there are all these ladies who, when they get upset, the next thing they do, they start to slap man that they are dating because they are upset. Because he said, if you slap me, I will slap you back. I don't support domestic violence, but I honestly get hit. Do not hit anybody. I am the gentlest. But if you hit me, whatever you get after that is your luck. If you get a volcano after that, too, luck. Yeah, because that is where people also take the piss. I feel you feel because, oh, they talk about domestic violence. I think whenever people talk about domestic violence, the focus is always on the woman. Nobody focuses on the man. Nobody knows that, realizes that, or people have refused to accept the fact that a lot of men are being abused in their relationships. Yeah. So that one for me was promise, because you saw how said in, oh, she's a married woman. How dare you people try to interfere in my relationship and what is going on with me. But I think what is key here
Louisa,
for me is the
sorry
Before
to
you
Ibhaze
continue.
interrupt.
sisters.
So then how
Yeah,
did she end
Thank
up with
you.
Chief?
Thank you.
Her hypocrisy. She ran away, abandoned her, and then she even went all the way to Europe to now be doing the
What?
sex work that she was judging the Ibhaze sisters for.
what if you remember when you started the book, what was the first quote on the first page? Now condition make rich bed.
Yeah, abandon the children
There
to
was a
go.
day. Remember, there was a that her special apartment, and she saw Chief's car and that woman selling drinks to him by the wheelbarrow with her wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
So that contrast was just like women don't leave bad relationships because they don't want to abandon their children. Yeah, sometimes you just get tired of the BS and you just say, you know what? To hell with all of you. When the kids grow, they will come looking for me. Yeah. Yes. And that happens to a lot of women. From the best women to the Christian girls to, yeah. You just get tired and be like, what is all this nonsense? They say, be like Christ. Are we the ones carrying the cross? And then, yeah. So that was it with promise. Yeah. It's just to show you that in life itself is not linear for anybody. People can switch up. Yeah, you can go from being the nicest person to the worst. I mean, there was Oibo who wanted to be an athlete, but her albinism didn't allow her. And you saw the kind of problems she had with Baby. They started out as friends, yeah. And she preferred to date older men because she had Octavius. She had a standard. But you saw she had a sweet banana she had a short thing with him. But even sweet banana couldn't tolerate her because I was wondering why is she always sending me now? What is all this? All these errands here and there. But you saw the wedding between the supposed wedding between Octavius and Baby and how it ended up.
Yeah, it was
And
sad.
even
I didn't
Mr.
like the way that
Holloway.
wedding took place.
You had a thing with Mr. Holloway as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, you both slept and Mr. Holloway were
They
together.
were together. And then, yeah, but that is life.
Waste of
Yeah,
money.
because sometimes you have two friends saying, I like the guy, but he seems to like my friend more. Somebody to love you. I'm sorry. Maybe he met you first, but you know what?
Yeah.
If this is who he loves, that is who he loves. So help yourself, remove yourself from there. And let them go on loving each other. Yeah.
Moses sisters.
Huh?
Presido. The
President-
Moses sisters.
Yes, Imose's sisters for me
Beautiful
was
sisters.
women supporting women.
Mm.
That is why, yeah, because any book I write, I always say my writing style is the aproko. I got tired of writing about regular things. I wanted to write about the lower crust, which we often overlook. That woman selling akara there. You don't know what's going on in her life. Things are happening.
Mm.
So, Imose's sisters for me were women supporting. You see, they would do their market rallies, they would do their monthly ajo, they would do their get together. Yes, they used to do things. Even for baby's wedding, you saw the gifts they brought. The church women brought only a Bible. And then when the fight broke out, you saw everything that happened. So that scene, that scenario happened on my street in Benin, where we had this girl. I mean, I watched this girl grow up. And I was told that, when she was getting ready to marry, she was already pregnant. She had gone to her pastor, and her pastor had said to her, this is the person that showed her pictures of, I think, 2 guys. And the pastor said to her, this is the one that God has ordained for you. And the whole wahala that happened, the whole wedding, everybody scattered and everybody went home. So that was from a real event that actually happened in Benin. Yeah. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Taiba too was another interesting character.
Yeah.
I liked the fact that she maintained her friendship, and she also grew. She also had a harsh experience at the beginning of her life and then made something of herself. The naked party was another interesting scene. The naked party with the bouncers collected the money from them. I know you hear all these strange stories, but I didn't think things like that, happened.
Naked
So
party, I heard that story when I was doing my youth service in 2002. I was in Kano then, and this guy, I was friends with this guy who used to get babes for all these big men. So he was the one that gave me that gist of how they got these men said, we want to do a party where we want girls to show up who will just come and be naked throughout the party, and everybody will be given $1,000 each. So he arranged the girls, and the girls showed up, and all of them straight, and they were naked throughout the party. And I said, why did men naked too? He said, no, just the girls. And they have to stand by the door. So as the girl, they seize the money and throw the girls out. And that kind of thing, you can't report to the police because the police will ask you, so where you thought say you go? What do you go do for there? Another judgment. Yeah. So that naked party, I heard about that naked party. Yeah. Ridiculous, right? Start acting up.
No, I just wanted to add, something born out of Osusu most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an actual thing, like even back in Benin, like there's all the sister clubs, but we have them here as well.
Okay,
so
that's
it's
good.
usually born out of Osusu. So I think Ajo,
Ajo. And the Yorubas call it Ajo. We call it Osusu. If you grow up in Wari, Benin Wari, you will call it Osusu. Yeah. But Yoruba will call it Ajo. Yeah, we call it Osusu. Yeah. But I feel that it's just being your sister's kids are very important.
They have like it when they have their meetups and stuff. So it goes beyond a support, like a community thing. So if someone loses someone in the family or so, they are there to support or come to your whatever events you have. So yeah, we have them here. Yeah, they also
Okay.
fight.
Okay. Okay. What did everybody think about Dr. Maduka's chemist?
I feel like it's necessary. Like there's some, I
That's
feel like
right.
there's that, yeah, some communities where we
I
just need that pharmacy.
needed. We
That's,
do.
yeah.
As
Because
long
if
as they
not,
know their limit.
they fall into the hands of people who are worse off, and then they put, more lives at risk or in danger. So he seems to be the solution for a lot of things. So as long as he's trusted, been proven year after year, and there's many testimonies of him
He's
being
not
effective.
though. He's not trusted though, Modupe. He did.
Yeah.
Did he not abort for
Now,
Yeah, so
There's
that's what I mean. Now, safe
there's a risk
abortion.
to
So the
him
abortion
operating
happened.
out of the scope of his. There's a risk with him operating out of the
exactly.
scope of his expertise
But
and
that's what
training.
I mean. Considering these people have to pay out of pocket for these services, if they were to go to the hospitals, it will cost them more. Or if they were to go to some, traditional person that gives them concussions of herbs that
he had no
he can't
medical
even.
training. He had no medical training. I think he was a
Yeah.
messenger or at the dispensary or
Oh, I
so.
thought he had a little bit of medical
No,
training.
No, he
No,
did not.
no, this kind of people,
so
they
it was
don't
a
usually.
100%
But
In Benin, we
Louisa,
He
have
was
some of
like
these
a
places.
pharmacist assistant
yeah,
Thank you, Ahan.
Louisa, if you
And so he
remember,
had exposure.
to medications, not medical
Medication.
yeah,
But at the end
Yes.
of the day,
Uh-huh.
I have a soft spot for them because the alternatives are usually worse off. That's my point. And if people have come out of his practice alive,
Mm.
you see that the reason people refer them is because they've used them and they can still point to that relative. This person is still alive. They did the abortion, but this person is still alive. That for me is fine as long as nothing is damaged and they don't lose their lives. I would rather go to these kind of people than the
No.
alternatives.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well,
Adora, you want
once
to say something?
no, I wanted to remind you, like back in Amobia, if you remember by Ugu Tank, there's
Where?
one lab. There was one lab
Yes, that
too.
lab there.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was what that man did. So
Oh,
you
he
look
wasn't
at it, he had
a.
a big sign that said
Uh-huh.
medical laboratories. Everyone will come there to test for malaria, whatever. But I remember going there one time very early in the morning, and I knew the shops are not open. So I was like, I seen this girl in her uniform. What are you doing here? And she starts to narrate that, oh, she's, how old she is and blah, blah, blah. And, he's going to perform an abortion for her. I was like, oh my God. I didn't know that was what he did. But yeah, you have all those people. I had a lady who I worked with in Yola, and her husband was trained as a nurse, but everybody called him doctor. And she
Yes,
said,
my doc.
yeah, and she said, you know her, you know the lady now that in my work. And she said they all streamed into her house and like he disposed of the babies, like was it in what did she say, pit, the pit in their house, and that was what her husband did, like, and they called him
They
doctor.
definitely
So all people,
exist.
they're all over,
My
the community.
concern
Yeah.
with it is the ethics of it. I don't know if you remember from one of the books we read, Black Maria. One of the inmates was a nurse who had retired on her watch.
That kind of service.
So there's an ethical concern. I understand that they're filling a gap in the community, but I feel like there should be restrictions to the scope that they're doing. Like
He worked in a mental institution as a. It was like a support worker. He just used to help them hold any patient that was acting up. And by the time he retired, he opened up a chemist on his street. Yeah. So a lot of them had no formal medical training, but they've been around people with formal training, they just felt that it gave them the audacity to do so.
So I was going to say it's unfortunate that in Nigeria, for instance, my sisters and stuff, Genuinely, those things are very effective.
Okay.
They